Media buying would probably only hold 20% of importance in your Facebook ads journey if you want to grow business and drive traffic through Facebook ads, whether for yourself or your clients. And 80% of the success is going to be dependent on the marketing strategy as a whole, which means how you position the product, what you say in your ads, how well do you say what you say in your ads, what are you choosing to mention in your ads, how well do you articulate the benefits of the features in your ads, how well do you understand that you should be articulating benefits of the features, or maybe in some cases benefits of the benefit of some specific features. That's what I mean by marketing strategy. How do you position your product's positioning, your brand's positioning? How do you make people aware about your offerings and stuff like that? So you can have a very robust and potent marketing strategy, which is very powerful, and have a very simple, less complex, extremely simple and straightforward media buying strategy, and you can still crush it and you can still grow your business. But if you do the opposite of it, so you can have the best media buying strategy, the most complex bid cap, cost cap, everything, whatever you can think of, but have a very standard below average marketing strategy. So you don't work on your ad creatives, you don't work on your products positioning, stuff like that, whatever I mentioned, and you will still struggle to grow. In this video, I'm going to go ahead and take you inside Meta's help articles, and we are going to discuss about things that you and I have been told in the world of Facebook ads, the conventional wisdom which promises growth with Facebook ads. For example, launch multiple campaigns in Adsets. Launch Adsets with audience interest targeting. Do laser targeting. Do stack audience interest when you are scaling. Yeah, testing is very different. You can test doing all these different strategies. So everything that you and I, we have been told, we will dive into Meta's help articles. I'm going to read them with you in this video. I'm going to share the screen. We can read them together. We will try to understand what these help articles are trying to say, what Meta is trying to tell us. And then along the way, I'm going to explain to you that a few years back, when I started to realize that our approach of media buying hardly matters, probably 20%, then how did I start to simplify that? And how I implemented these strategies for different businesses in different niches, in different industries, from D2C, e-commerce brands to courses, coaches, doing workshops, webinars, all of these different businesses and different models. I implemented some systems when I simplified the media buying after simplifying it, because my 80% of my focus went from media buying to the marketing strategy of the brand or the products that we were promoting through Facebook ads in order to ultimately grow our business. But you should not be listening to me. And therefore, I'm going to take you inside the help articles. Things that Facebook themselves are telling us, Meta is telling us. We're going to read them together in this video today. And whatever I'm going to share with you today is going to come from my hands-on experience of scaling ad accounts from 0 to up to 53,000 INR per day, every single day in ad spend. So it's going to come from that experience. Of course, I've made lots and lots of mistakes along the way. And my intention with this video is just to educate you so that I can help you see and look in the right direction and help you focus where you should be focusing and not obsess over media buying strategies. Let's get started. All right. So the first thing I want to share here, and before I share the screen, I want to tell this to you. The first thing that we want to understand is what's the most common conventional wisdom, conventional process that we all have been taught in the world of Facebook ads. That in order for us to scale the overall business, so let's say scale an ad account, we launch multiple campaigns and multiple ad sets, or multiple campaigns with multiple ad sets, where we are testing audience interests, lookalike audience, custom audience, etc. Right? That's what we are told. So what do we mean by this? So when we launch multiple campaigns and multiple ad sets, what happens exactly? So what is it called in the world of Facebook ads? Let's try to understand that first, okay? So I'm going to share the screen and let's get started. Now, in the context of Facebook ads, let's read this. Audience fragmentation occurs when advertisers create multiple ad sets with similar targeting. So not the same targeting, but similar targeting, right? So you could have different audience interests, but because you're doing similar targeting, it is considered as audience fragmentations because you are launching multiple ad sets. That's exactly what it says. Leading to inefficient ad spend and reduced performance, ladies and gentlemen, as the algorithm struggles to optimize for multiple overlapping segments. This is exactly what audience fragmentation this is what audience fragmentation is. So when we launch multiple campaigns or multiple assets to scale, say, one product, and we are doing it because we are thinking that we can launch, a bunch of lookalikes or whatever, or we can launch interest targeting and stuff like that. All that we are doing is we are creating audience fragmentation, which ultimately leads to inefficient ad spend and reduced performance as the algorithm struggles to optimize for multiple overlapping segments. Now, it's a very common thing in the world of Facebook ads, which is audience fragmentation. And I think almost everybody is aware of it. Meta keeps recommending this that, hey, your ad account, you're experiencing audience fragmentation, combine these different ad sets, right? So let's understand why Meta wants us to reduce audience fragmentation. So let's understand that. Now, as you can see, this is from Meta's own help center, help article, right? So Meta says benefits of combining similar assets across campaigns. Spend your budget efficiently and optimize performance. It says when you combine ad sets and campaigns, our delivery system can work more efficiently to find more opportunities for your budget. Simple as that. The second benefit, minimize time and budget spent in the learning phase. It says, when a campaign starts running, each ad set goes through an initial learning phase. Okay, so I want you to please remember this. Okay, keep this in mind. When a campaign starts running, each ad set, each ad set within that campaign goes through an initial learning phase. This is what it's saying. During this time, the delivery system learns to deliver ads effectively, right? So when that's happening in this learning phase, the delivery system that Meta uses to serve our ads to its users, it is learning to deliver the ads effectively. So it's learning. When you run too many ad sets at the same time, each one gets fewer opportunities to learn and therefore fewer results. Now, this is what Meta is saying. It says that this means ad sets may spend more time in the learning phase and you may spend more budget before the delivery system can fully optimize performance. Combining ad sets will help you get the results you need faster, which means you'll see stable results sooner. Right? Interesting. Let's read something else about overlapping audience. Okay. It says that it may not be the most bad thing, but it can lead to poor delivery of your ad sets. Right? This is because when ad sets from the same advertiser are going to end up in the same auction, meaning they are targeting similar audiences, we enter the one with the best performance history and prevent others from competing to get shown. So what happens is that when we launch multiple campaigns and or multiple ad sets within those multiple campaigns, we are basically fragmenting the audience, right? So audience fragmentation leads to overlapping of different audiences, which means when we have multiple campaigns or multiple ad sets, it ultimately ends up creating or leading towards audience overlap. And when audience overlap happens or occurs, Meta, because audience overlap leads to auction overlap, right? Read this. It says this is because when ad sets from the same advertiser are going to end up in the same auction, meaning they're targeting similar audiences, we enter the one with the best performance history and prevent the others from competing to get shown. Right? And we do this so our ads are not competing against each other. which can drive up costs and lead to inefficient uses of your budget. And I have shared this multiple times in some of my past videos that how you can check audience overlap by going under audiences, check the boxes next to the audiences you want to compare. Up to 5 audiences you can create. You can create saved audiences, and then you will have an option that says show audience overlap. You can just browse through my channel and you'll find some videos that I've talked about this before, and you can go and check it out yourself, or you can head over to your ads manager and do this, what Meta is telling you, and have a look at how even if we change, even if we choose 2 different audience interests, chances are very bright that we will experience more than 80% audience overlap, which means that even if we run different audience interests, chances are we reaching the same audience. So it just doesn't make sense for us to rely on any such sort of media buying strategy, because Meta is proving us what we should be doing, or trying to guide us what we should be doing, right? Well, keep listening to me, because I have some very interesting facts today to share in this video. So this is about audience fragmentation, and I've actually talked about this before as well. Audience fragmentation, audience overlap, auction overlap. I keep talking about all of this good stuff. But there are certain other things as well, important things that I'm going to talk about that I've never talked about in this in any video before. Right. So this is about combining ad sets, right? Which is what Meta recommends, that combine similar ad sets across campaigns. And this is because it leads to audience fragmentation is leading to basically audience overlap, and audience overlap is leading to auction overlap. Now it says how we combine assets with automated rules. Well, you can set automated rules and stuff like that, but I'm not a very huge fan of automated rules because attribution is all over the place. And in order for you to make the most out of automated rules, you need to have correct and accurate attribution, and which is what we all know. Meta is very, very, very inaccurate when it comes to attribution. So I mean, most of the times it'll under attribute. So it doesn't make sense for us to rely on automated rules, right? So anyway, but here's some important points that I want you to read from this particular help article. It says that we recommend that you combine assets if we detect audience fragmentation between them. Combining assets can help you spend your budget more efficiently and exit the learning phase sooner. We keep the best performing ad set by considering the best cost per result and cost per action, and then expand it. This means it includes the audiences and the budgets of the ad sets we turned off. Right? So it's talking about how it actually combines it and the benefit of it. But here's the most interesting part. Here's something we will talk about, which is ad volume and performance, which is a help article that Meta published. Meta says that this is going to blow your mind away, so please keep watching. Meta says the number of active ads in your ad account or from your page plays an important role in achieving predictable, stable, and optimized results. I'm going to repeat this. The number of active ads in your ad account plays an important role in achieving predictable, stable, and optimized result. We all want stable results, right? Predictable performance, right? Number of active ads is the secret. Each time an ad is shown, our ads delivery system learns more about the best people and places to show the ad. Let's repeat this. Each time a specific individual ad is shown, our ads delivery system learns more about the best people and places to show the ad. The more an ad is shown, the better the delivery system becomes at optimizing the ad's performance. Very easy to understand. When an advertiser runs too many ads at once, each ad delivers less often. This means that fewer ads exit the learning phase and more budget is spent before the delivery system can optimize the performance. Which means sometimes people interpret from this help article, and I did this made this mistake for a very long time before I realized it, and I came across this help article a long time back. that sometimes people think that performance marketeers tell us, or we misinterpret what we are trying to understand from what Meta's help articles are telling us, and we take wrong decisions. That all that we have to do is just keep launching a bunch of new ads, right? While I'm a huge fan of launching more and more ads, but still there's a balance we have to maintain. It just doesn't mean that we will spam our ad account with as many ads as we want, because ultimately that's the way to hack it. And that's why whenever somebody is asking me that, hey, if I want to test ads faster, I want to test 50 ads in 1 week, can I do that? And I ask them, okay, what's your day-to-day daily ad spend budget? And they like, say, for instance, they're like 10, 20,000 per day INR. And I tell them, no, you can't. On basis of what? Today, I'm going to share that with you. Meta recommends that at what budget you're running your ads on a monthly basis, like how much money you're spending. In that case scenario, what's the where do you like how many ads should you be running maximum? What's the max? So there's a limit to it. So I'm going to discuss that as well, and I'm going to refer to Meta's help article itself. Like I'm not going to say things because I have experienced it, so that you can really, you know, make up your mind on what exactly you want to share. And but what I'm trying to say is it's not about having so many ads in order for you to win the game of Facebook ads, but it's about having the right amount of ads and the right kind of ads. That's very important, right? So let's keep reading. In other words, too many ads can result in worse performance, right? To achieve more predictable, stable, and optimized results, advertisers should monitor active ad volume and ensure they do not exceed the limit per page on ads that are running. So, what are these limits? Yes, there are limits. Here are limits. Let's read them. All right. So it says since each ad's performance improves the more it is shown, advertisers of different sizes should use different ad volumes to improve ad performance. There are 4 ad volume tiers to encourage advertisers of different sizes to use the ad volume per page that optimizes their performance. So if you're a small to medium sized page, which means advertising less than $100,000 USD in the highest spending month, ad limit guidance 250 ads at a given point. And then you can just go on and so on and so forth. You can read through these articles yourself. But you can see there are some ad limits as well. And it also mentions that since each ad's performance improves, the more it is shown. So I'm going to just give you some background here, some little bit of context, okay? There's full transparency, nothing to hide, being extremely honest with you. Ever since I discovered all of this that I'm explaining and I'm sharing with you today, I realized that launching a bunch of multiple campaigns or ad sets is not going to be the secret to growing businesses with Facebook ads. It's not about hacking the algorithm, but befriending it. It's more about playing with the algorithm, not against it. It's more about more about not doing what Meta is recommending us not to do, and instead just listening to what Meta is asking us to do and just doing that. So it's as simple as it is from the media buying perspective. And when I discovered this about ads as well, that there's a limit to the number of ads a page should run at a given point in time, depending on how much budget it is running at. And then I realized, when I realized about the ad delivery system and stuff like that, I also realized the importance of giving and putting majority of our focus and attention on marketing strategies, on advertising strategies. Because when we discover about ad volume and the importance of ad volume, we misinterpret and try to again, we are like the mindset of hacking systems is so much deep rooted inside of us. Not we are not to be blamed, I feel. It's more because that's how I learned it back in 2016, 2017, when I discovered Facebook ads for the first time, starting 2015, and then I formally took it up. And then I was like, okay, you need to hack it. There are secret interest targeting and stuff like that. So this is so much installed in it. It's so much deep rooted that it वो कहीं ना कहीं बाहर निकल आता है. That hacking mindset. And then we like, okay, when I discovered this ad volume thing, I was like, okay, just launch a bunch of ads and let's try to hack the algorithm again. But turns out it doesn't work like that. There has to be a system to it. So what was I doing when I understood the volume game? I started to launch the same ads again and again. I had the same ad and I was launching 5 ads, but all were the same. Same ad creatives, just 5 different ads. And I thought I'm smarter. Then I also launched one single ad creative, for instance, and let's say it's the creative is static, and it has let's say the overall theme of the ad is, say, the color theme is, say, blue, the color scheme, and then I was launching 10 different variations of the same ad creative with 10 different colors and everything else the same. Then I was launching the same ad creative, same concept, but just changing the overlay text and launching 25 more different with different overlay text, thinking that I was launching multiple ads and I was going high on ad volume, but still not winning, and hoping that I would win, but I was still not winning. And that's when I realized that it's not about ad volume only. It's about having the right amount of ads, of course, but the right kind of ads as well. So when I discovered all of this, right, audience fragmentation, audience overlap, which leads to auction overlap, then I realized, okay, so media buying strategy is probably, why are we even launching a bunch of campaigns and ads when that's the case? But when I discovered and I realized it, and then I discovered and learned about ad creatives and the quantity of ad creatives, the volume of ad creatives. When I discovered all of it, learned it, then then I started to self-reflect and realize that the way to win the game of Facebook ads is actually by putting our focus energy on marketing strategy more than the media buying strategy. So then I discovered this. When I realized it, then I created something called, that I like to call as our one campaign method, OCM, which is our SOP that we use in our agency to scale ad accounts. And we this is exactly what we do for businesses in different industries and niches. It's the same thing we do for everybody. It's standard, because media buying strategy, I would say, holds only 20% of uh, yeah, 20% of like 20% of success depends on media buying for a business, I think. Maybe, and that's also, I'm being modest, I feel it's not even 20, to be very honest. But let's say, okay, 20%. And 80% is all marketing strategy. 80% is all about the founder. 80% is all about how much strong hold does the founder have on the business analytics and the business numbers, unit economics. It's more about that. It's not about anything else. And we are thinking that, okay, I can just, hack the algorithm. I can just do a fancy website and I can have the most fancy photo shoot done and I will win the game. No, there's so many different things. And that's when I learned the importance of all of it. And I started to create this one campaign method. Now, in this one campaign method also, there are certain things that I do, which every day it's a new learning for me as well. And I think that every day when I wake up, I have so many things to learn, and I'm not the best yet. I'm just one among you. मैं कोई special नहीं हूँ. But maybe somebody who's just working harder to make a mark in the industry and just become the best in what I do. And that's all that I'm trying to do here. But I'll tell you that even though I was doing like one campaign, I realized that even in this one campaign methodology that I follow, the process, the approach that I follow, even in this approach, there are like multiple sub approaches that we can use, and which is dependent on the nature of the business. So for instance, if we have multiple products, we can have like one master campaign. Either we can have one master campaign per product, and or we can have one master campaign per category of products. So let's say, for instance, if you are, just to give an example, if you're a grooming brand, let's say a men's grooming brand, and you are running this one master campaign, and you have this category of products, which is, say, hairstyling products. So you can have one master campaign per category of products. And then you can have multiple assets inside it for each hero product of yours, right? So this is another way of doing it. Another way of doing it is you can have one master campaign with one master ad set and all the winning ads stacked inside that ad set. That's another way of doing it. So that 3, 4 different, I would say, different ways and approaches that you can approach the game of one campaign method. But it all boils down to ultimately growing one master campaign, because it's so easy to take decisions following this mechanism, because there are so many things that we don't have to look at anymore. And when I run ads and we set up ad sets, we don't do audience targeting at all, because what if I remove the audience targeting completely? And there are so many videos I've done in the past that you will learn about how Meta uses AI image and video recognition model, where it can see, hear, and understand what is being said in the video, or for who is the best appropriate or relevant user for this particular content in this ad or video. So when Meta's AI can determine that, and why are we even choosing audience interest to begin with? And at the same time, when there are overlapping audiences anyway, when we're launching multiple ad sets, so why do we even have to choose audience interest to begin with? Why do you think Meta is pushing Advantage Plus so aggressively? These are questions that we can't turn blind to. We can't turn deaf to them. We have to wake up and understand all of these things. But today, I'm also going to walk you through some other things as well that Meta mentioned in this help articles, which are also extremely important, and things that I keep learning on, even today. So let's go back. Okay. So here are some best practices Meta is recommending us. It says reducing ad volume can improve performance. The below tactics can help you to manage ad volume. Number one, combine ad sets. Combining ad sets will help you get the conversions you need to exit the learning phase sooner. Now, this is exactly what Meta is telling us. We are not like, this is not something that we are cooking. This is what exactly Meta recommends, combining ad sets. Now, here are sub tactics under this one best practice, which is combining ad sets. So, certain, you can say, sub benefits of it, or sub pointers for us to note. It says that if reporting on results for each audience, you can combine ad sets in case you are still using audience interest. Well, I don't use audience interest personally, but in case you are, you can still have different ad sets combined together. And you can then use breakdowns for granular reporting that doesn't sacrifice the performance, because you will have one master ad set. So you can use breakdowns in your ads manager to look at where are you getting results from out of, let's say, if you have stacked 10 different audience interests, and which audience interest is actually delivering you the results you want, which audience is delivering you the results you want, or the best results you want, or the best results for you. You can look at that by using breakdowns in your ads manager reporting. So that's one thing. If targeting small geographic areas, combine ad sets into larger geographical areas to aggregate conversions and delivery learnings across ad sets. So let's say I'm advertising, I'm a local salon, and I'm advertising in this particular area, and then I see that, okay, there are these 5, 7, 8, 10 different areas that I can advertise in, because that's the closest to my locality. Then I don't really need to have separate ad sets for each of those areas. I can have, and I can combine those geographical areas and have just one ad set, and then make my ads perform better. If creating different ad sets for different placements, it says, again, something that I've seen a lot of people do. I don't know for what reason, but I just use Meta's Advantage Plus placements every time. So it's all auto placements. I don't touch it. Never have, never will. I've tried it, never worked at scale. Okay. If creating different ad sets for different languages, it says is combine ad sets and set multiple languages in a single ad set. So let's say you want to advertise to you want to have an ad set for English audience and you have an ad set for Hindi audience. It doesn't make sense according to Meta for you to have multiple ad sets. You just have one ad set and you just select both the languages together and have your entire marketing assets inside this same ad set itself, and let Meta optimize it for you. Second best practice, Meta says, okay, so these are best practices, all right? And we are talking about ad volume and performance. So Meta is recommending us some best practices. Decrease ads per ad set. Damn, that's a hard one. Testing creative is essential for improving performance over time. Of course, we all have to test different creatives, different angles, different concepts, but you should not do so in ways that are but you should do so in ways that are replicable and more effective. One of the reasons why I'm a very huge fan of having SOPs that are easier to follow and simple to follow, because then it becomes easy for us to replicate the actions. It's like when I don't know if I'm trying to learn how to do a flying kick and I do it once and I crack it once, but I don't know how I did it, then I don't know what I don't know. And then I can't repeat that same action again. And as a result, I may just end up being one shot wonder because I did not create an SOP. So I'm a very, very, very huge fan of having SOPs in a business and systems in every different division of your business, marketing or operations or whatever. And it says the same thing, right? So it says, I'm going to read this. This is like, I like this. It says that you should do so in ways that are replicable and more effective so that you have a process that you can do again and again. So decrease ads per ad set. It says use, so here's an important one. It says use six or fewer creatives per ad set. The delivery system favors ads with more delivery because conversion predictions are more accurate. Once you have added more than six ads, there's a little marginal benefit. So it says maybe there could be a benefit if you have more than six ads in an ad set, but it says it may not give you the most, may just give you a very little marginal benefit. Use six or fewer creatives per ad set. It says delivery system favors ads with more delivery because conversion predictions are more accurate. One of the most common questions I get after I started to talk about this one campaign method openly on YouTube and then started to do workshops and teach people about this and then document case studies and stuff like that ever since I started to be very vocal about it on the internet. One of the most common questions I get from it is, hey, Rohan, I launched a one campaign method. It's a CBO strategy. So, hey, Rohan, I launched a one campaign method and I've launched this couple of creative tests inside this one campaign. So multiple assets, but these are like temporary assets because you can't just launch anything, can't be just permanent like that. So you're launching these couple of assets inside this main campaign, and these are just creative tests that you're doing. And then I launched this bunch of these assets to test new creatives, but Meta is not spending on all of them. It just keeps spending on a couple of them, and it's not spending much on the other. Because Meta is going to favor those ads that will or can get you the most number of impressions, and Meta's algorithm knows it better than you and I. So for us, if I launch a creative test, for example, inside our one campaign, which is the CBO strategy, and if Meta does not spend much money on it in the first 5 to 7 days, it's still running, and it doesn't spend at all or hardly spends on it, I consider that ad set creative testing to be a loser because Meta is not spending it. And at the end of the day, Meta says that the delivery system favors ads with more delivery because conversion predictions are more accurate. So if I have an existing ad or couple of ads that are running in the campaign itself, which are crushing it, they are getting great amount of ad spend, and I launch another creative test which is not at par with those particular current performing ads, then there's no point of me running those creatives. So doesn't matter how hard I have worked to produce those ad creatives, does not matter. It happens all the time. I'm with clients and we're working day in, day out. We're writing hooks and headlines and we're doing all of this. And we launched, wrote this script and we created the storyboarding document. We passed it on to our clients, telling them that, hey, just do this ad. And then they did the ad. They worked so hard to do it. And there was so much of back and forth. And then after all this preparation, we launched the ad creative to realize it's a loser. It hurts, right? But you have to be very brutal because it's the game of going out there, taking the shot. If it doesn't work, then come back, undo, or learn from it, and then just redo it again. So you can't be emotionally attached to the efforts that you're putting in because at the end of the day, what matters to you and I and to all of us are the results that we are generating from our advertising efforts, the money that we make from our ads, the gross profit, the net profit. That's what matters. We don't run ads because we want to make a brand through pushing people to watch our content, because that's pretty much what advertising is from one perspective. It's kind of forcing people into watching our content. That's what advertising is, right? People are not willing to watch it, not necessarily they're searching for us. So we can't push ourselves into creating a brand. That can't happen because brand is what people talk about you or your products, not what we say about it, what people say about it. So when I realized this, all of these things that this happens, then I learned that okay, if the ad is not getting the ad spend that I thought it should get, and now Meta is deciding to not spend on it, then I will hardly do this. That I will take that ad set outside and I'll test it, thinking and hoping that this is going to become a winner, because it has happened so many times that I do it and I bring it back to the master campaign and I put that ad among the winners, It just crashes. It doesn't perform anymore. So yeah, that's what. So we have to create, and also when we are talking about the amount of spend an ad is getting, when we are discussing this, I also will tell you that, see, at the end of the day, if an ad is not getting spend at all, then it's 100% it's a loser. In 5 to 7 days, if it has spent a creative testing ad set, let's say I've launched in the one campaign and it did not perform because it did not get the ad spend that I wanted it to get, I will just consider that to be a loser. And I will mark it as a loser in my creative roadmap tracker that I've maintained in a Google Sheet. Mark that particular ad as a loser and I'll move forward. Now, let's assume if it does get some spend and it delivers us decent ROAS, which is what happens a lot of times, I'll still let it run for a while because ultimately it's not hurting my performance, is it? It's not. So when it's not hurting my performance, I will just let it run. I'll just launch another creative test. Even if the spend is slow, doesn't matter to me. You see? So these are some things that I follow. And then basically what I'm trying to find with new ads is I'm trying to find an ad that can get good amount of ad spend, which means good number of impressions and decent ROAS, at least within our target CPA. This is what I'm trying to find. And till the time till the time I do not, or I struggle to, or I'm not able to find it, I keep on doing it. I keep on testing different things, and we that's how we scale ad accounts, and we keep scaling the ad spend. We just keep scaling the budget. It's just one campaign we are running, and it's just like I can double it, triple it, 20%, whatever the business allows me to do, and we just keep doing it because none of it is really true, I feel. Anyway, so it says if testing multiple text variants, use multiple text optimizations. So don't just use one ad copy and with primary text or headline, just have multiple of those. It also says if testing multiple creative variants, then use dynamic creatives, which is not now flexible ads. So that's what it recommends. If testing multiple formats, use Advantage plus Creative for catalog, of course. And yeah, I mean, stuff like that. Here's another important one. It says turn off ads that are not delivering. Advertisers are often more efficient in Meta Ads Manager when they turn off ads that are not producing outcomes. So that's what it says. Turn off the ads that are not receiving impressions. Exactly what I just mentioned. So most important tip for you: don't think that you can have the volume of ads because I just shared with you the game about ad volume and the performance, how the volume of the ads is going to determine the performance. Don't think you can just have as much volume as you want by putting out a bunch of creatives now that ChatGPT has the option to help you create ad creatives, but also understand that there is a limit to the number of ads we're running at a given point depending on the overall monthly budget. So this is $100,000. So you can say on an average, that's about $30,000 a month. Oh, sorry, a day, approximately. If I have to tell you in INR, in Indian currency, by using a concept which is called purchasing power parity PPP. So not by converting the currency into INR, because then it's almost like 1 CR or 85 lakh approximately, but how much, like what's the standard of it, how much of that, how much is the same standard of money in India, which is the same standard of money that $100,000 in US. So that's a concept called purchasing power parity. So if we are spending roughly around, according to that concept, if you're spending roughly around, you can say 15 to 20 lakh in that range on a monthly basis, then we Meta is recommending us an ad limit of 250 active ads, which also means like it's a benchmark for me. So let's say if I'm at 20 lakh per month, right? That means I'm almost at what? 20 lakh per month is how much? 20 lakh per month is 70,000 or 60,000 per day, approximately, give or take. So if I'm at 50, 60,000 per day, I should be optimizing to be at a stage where I am actively running about 250 ads. And which is what is one of the most common mistakes I see people make, and I used to make the same mistake. And even today, I feel I do less of it after I realized this. Again, it's like a great recap and reminder for me as well that we just underestimate the power of more volume, like ads at more volume. So all of this, you're going to realize that a huge A huge contribution to the success of Facebook ads is coming from the volume of the ads. And when it's about the volume of the ads, it's also keeping in mind not just having random ads, but ultimately about having a system that helps us create those kind of ads, which is going to hit the market from different angles and different messaging, different way of positioning the same product, but positioning it differently, saying the same thing but saying it differently. Because one product can have multiple benefits, right? One product can have multiple benefits. One product can solve multiple problems. Yes, it could probably solve one burning problem, a couple of burning problems, but it could and it will solve multiple problems. So when we know a product solves multiple problems, why are we not saying and choosing to talk about that one main problem or one problem out of all the list of problems it solves in each of our ads? To ultimately find and realize, create a pool of these winning ads and a team of A players, as I like to call them, within my agency and within my team. That's how we discuss about it. This is how we talk that, hey, how many A players do we have in our team from the ads perspective? So it's all about marketing strategy. How do you talk to the consumers and the users from different ways, right? Not just having fancy production ads, but also having some ads that look like organic posts on social media. Important, right? Because what somebody see, someone is going to get attracted towards your brand and or your product by looking at a fancy photo shoot or a fancy ad that you do through chat gpt or AI. And some of those are not going to get attracted towards your brand or your product by looking at such same kind of ad creatives. That means you can have to have different types, designs, and different things you say in your ad creatives. So it's not, so imagine how would you come up with a system that enables you to focus on the ad volume while maintaining the creativity and flavor in your ads, different coming and hitting the market from different angles. How would you have the mental capacity of doing so, even if you leverage or try to use AI? Because people are going to tell you that they use AI, but how many of them are actually using AI successfully in different businesses and making money off it? I can make a video on AI and then gain thousands of views if I have to. But it's about, if I implement this, am I making money? Is it solving the biggest constraint for me? And then then that's not the full equation. The full equation, the complete question to ask is, okay, it is solving the biggest constraint or one of the biggest constraints for me in my business, but am I getting the same results or better results using it? Because outcome is the real scorecard of a business or the action we take in a business. It's about, you can take this action, you can say these things in your sales pitches because they sound cool, but if they don't get you the results you want, which means you're not able to close the customers or clients, then what's the point of having those things in your sales pitches or your sales skits? So ultimately, outcome is the best feedback. So what I'm saying is, you could use AI and have those fancy cinematic shots done using ChatGPT or any other AI tool. But not everyone is going to get attracted towards it. Now that AI is there and ChatGPT is enabling you to create those such kind of images, and you can have those cinematic photo shoots kind of, standard kind of stuff. It's just gonna the standard of great work is now much more higher because anybody can now do this. So coming back to what I was saying, everybody is going to get attracted towards different kind of marketing messages, different kind of marketing collateral and marketing material. And that is the message that I want to give and pass on to you today from this video. That it's not about having a very complex media buying strategy, because it's not the secret, guys. It is not. Quit obsessing over it. Simplify it. Simplify your media buying, because that's not where the secret lies. Secret is, as in the words of Alex Ramosi, secret is in your offer. And offer is a part of your marketing strategy. You can have the best sales script. What is an ad? An ad is essentially a sales pitch. You're selling something to someone in your ads. It could be a thought, it could be an opinion, it could be a perspective. There's something you're selling, but you're ultimately selling. Even if you're giving a freebie, ultimately you're selling an opinion. You are selling. So you can have the most effective sales pitch or sales script. but you write that most effective sales pitch with a very weak offer, it's not going to work. And you can have a very weak sales pitch, simple, straightforward sales pitch, and you can have a compelling offer. And that weak sales pitch is going to crush it for you because of the offer. An offer is a part of your marketing strategy. Similarly, you can have the most complex media buying strategy to win the game of Facebook ads and hack the algorithm and whatnot. And write that along with a very basic standard marketing strategy, and you will continue to struggle. But you flip the equation and you can have a simple media buying strategy and have a potent marketing strategy, and you're going to make a lot of money. That's what I wanted to tell you in this video today. If my ads don't work, which means I don't get the results I want from them, I don't blame any media buying strategy, but I know the reason is my marketing, my product, my offer, stuff like that. That's where my actual solution lies. And I wanted to come in this video today and share this with you with complete honesty, with nothing but only one intention, that you watch this video, you do what I ask you to do, you think the right way, you look in the right direction, you make the right decisions, and you grow your business so that you can make your family proud. And more than that, you can make yourself proud. Live a life that you are happy to live. I hope this video adds value. If it does, let me know in the comments down below. If you have questions, you can ask me. I keep posting such videos, so make sure you hit the subscribe button in case you like the video. And I'm going to see you in the next one. Until next time, may the God of ROAS be with you. Bye bye.